Hi everyone. I hope you're all keeping yourself safe at home. Today we're going to have another English class and I'm going to start a new chapter, Deep Water by William Douglas. It's on page 23 of Flamingo. So William Douglas was a famous lawyer, politician, and he was a friend and advisor to President Franklin Roosevelt of America. William Douglas is best known as the judge of the Supreme Court of USA who served there for 36 years. And this extract that we are going to read is taken from his book Of Men and Mountains, which many people found very inspiring, educational and uplifting. In this book, he is touching on many issues that we all face in life, like fear, death, challenges and adversities. So this is a very well-written personal account of Justice Douglas. And in this extract that we are going to read, he's discussing about his adventures of childhood when he went to learn swimming and how he conquered the fear of water. In the first paragraph, we are reading how he decided to learn swimming at the age of 10 or 11, and he wanted to go to the YMCA pool in Yakima. Yakima is a place in Washington, and that's where he lived. And his mother had told him that the Yakima River was treacherous, which means that it is not very reliable, it cannot be trusted, and he might drown. So his mother did not want him to take a risk, and he decided to go to the YMCA pool in Yakima to learn swimming. And here the details are given. It was only 2 or 3 feet deep at the shallow end, and while it was 9 feet deep at the other. And I got a pair of water wings and went to the pool. Water wings is what they put on their hands to float in the water. This is what they wear while the kids are learning to swim. In the next paragraph we read, "From the beginning, however, I had an aversion to the water when I was in it." So, aversion means a strong dislike. So, why did he have a dislike for the water? This started when I was 3 or 4 years old, and father took me to the beach in California. So, he had a bad experience in the water when he was 3 or 4 years old. And he's describing that when his father took him to the beach and he was standing on the surf, that is the area where the water touches the land. That's where we usually stand on the beach. And you know that it is sometimes not very safe to stand there if the waves are strong, then we might trip and fall. So such a thing happened to him and he fell down in the water. I was buried in water, my breath was gone, I was frightened, and father laughed. But his father was very confident. He knew that the water is not deep there, so father was laughing. But there was terror in my heart at the overpowering force of the waves. So this is how he developed a fear of water. That is why he did not learn swimming until the age of 10 or 11. My introduction to the YMCA pool revived unpleasant memories. So this is why he had unpleasant memories of the water. And childish fears also. But in a little while I gathered confidence. So when he saw other kids learning to swim in the water, he also tried to imitate them. I paddled with my new water wings, watching the other boys and trying to learn by aping them. Aping means imitating them. And so he got comfortable by trying to imitate the other students, and he was trying to get rid of the fear. That's when a misadventure happened. So from the misadventure, we understand that something went wrong, or something like an accident happened there. I went to the pool when no one else was there. So he had been practicing for 2 or 3 days with other kids, but one day he went to the pool when no one else was there. The place was quiet and the water was still. I was timid about going in alone, and I sat on the side of the pool to wait for others. He was waiting for others because he was afraid to get into the water alone. I had not been there long when in came a big bruiser of a boy. Bruiser means a very strong boy who is very fond of fighting. So he's not a very pleasant companion. So a big bruiser of a boy came. He was probably 18 years old. And he yelled, "Hi skinny, how do you like to be ducked?" And this is what happened. He picked me up and tossed me into the deep end. He had already mentioned that the deep end was 9 feet deep. And this big bruiser of a boy came and threw him into that deep end. In the following paragraphs, we are going to read all the thoughts that went through the little boy's mind when he was going under the water and coming up, and how he was planning to escape, and all the thoughts that filled his mind about all the strategies that he made about saving himself. So we read here in the second last paragraph on page 25 that when he was thrown into the water, he swallowed water and went at once to the bottom. That's when he made plans to come back up and save himself. And the first plan he made was, when my feet hit the bottom, I would make a big jump, come to the surface, lie flat on it, and paddle to the edge of the pool. So this was his plan, but it did not happen as he had thought. He did not come back up so fast as he thought. He came up slowly to the surface, and then he tried to grab a rope. He wanted to catch hold of something, to get a grip on something, but it was only water all around. Then I was suffocating. That means he became breathless. He was not able to breathe. And now his eyes and nose had come out of the water, but his legs were still hanging down, and he was trying to bring his legs up, but it was weighing down. And we read here that he again went down. So this is the second time he's going down in the water. So I had started on the long journey back to the bottom of the pool. Still, he was trying to carry out his plan of touching the bottom and then springing up. The third paragraph of page 26. But I remembered this strategy. I would spring from the bottom of the pool and come like a cork to the surface. So he's imagining that he would come back up and float like a cork on the surface. But I went down endlessly. Again, his plan did not work out. I was shrieking underwater. I was paralyzed underwater, stiff and rigid with fear. And he was screaming, and the screams in my throat were frozen. So he was trying to scream out for help, but even the screams in my throat were frozen. But he knew that he was alive because his heart was pounding. And then in the midst of the terror came a touch of reason. But he still was thinking of carrying out his plan. Again, when he touched the bottom, he tried to jump, but the jump made no difference. And again, he looked for ropes, ladders, and water wings. Again, he tried to catch hold of something. I think whenever we are falling in the water, we try to catch hold of something to stop that fall. So he's also looking for something to hold on to, like ropes, ladders, and water wings. But there was nothing but water. A mass of yellow water held me. Now I shook and trembled with fright. My arms wouldn't move, my legs wouldn't move. I tried to call for help, to call for mother. Nothing happened. So now he was feeling paralyzed. And then strangely there was light. That means he had again popped up to the surface. My eyes were out and my nose were almost out too. But then I started down a third time. So this is the third time he's going down under the water. From this line we understand that he went down the water 3 times. I sucked for air and got water. The yellowish light was going out. Now he's describing all the thoughts that came to his mind at that time. Now he was giving up. He had no more hope. Even my legs felt limp and a blackness swept over my brain. It wiped out fear, it wiped out terror. Now he was feeling drowsy, like he's going to sleep. No need to jump, too tired to jump. He was feeling tender arms, like mothers. Now he was losing consciousness. That's why he has written here, I must go to sleep. I crossed to oblivion and the curtain of life fell. From then on, he can't remember anything because he had lost his consciousness. Even though he tried very hard to save himself, nothing worked. But somehow he was saved. Somebody saved him in the end. And we read in the middle of page 27 in the 5th paragraph, the next I remember, I was lying on my stomach beside the pool vomiting. And the chap that threw me in was saying, but I was only fooling. Someone said the kid nearly died. It's true that he almost died or he almost drowned in the water, but he was saved. Several hours later, I walked home. So he went back home. I was weak and trembling. I shook and cried when I lay on my bed. So he was feeling very weak. And that's when this fear came over him again. He was trembling. I couldn't eat that night. For days, a haunting fear was in my heart. I never went back to the pool. I feared water. I avoided it whenever I could. So here we see that at the age of 10, he had himself decided to learn swimming, even though he had developed a fear of water when he was 3 years old. And he conquered that fear and was about to learn swimming when this misadventure happened. And now he's saying that I never went back to the pool. So again, he has developed a fear. William Douglas has written about this experience to make everyone realize how to conquer our fears. So we know that eventually he must have conquered that fear. Being the great person that he is, we know that he wouldn't give up. In the second half of this chapter, we will read how William Douglas overcame his fear of water and became a good swimmer and had more adventures in life. So we'll do that in the next class. Until then, have a great day.